This is Daf Yerushalmi Kilayim, in the article Oz V'Hoda edition. We are Daf Gimel Amud Aleph at the Mishnah Halacha Beis, which the article tells us is actually Mishnah Gimel. And in the Vilna, we are on Daf Beis. Halacha Beis, which is towards the top. Places today Zua chitim. You had previously planted wheat in the field. You changed your mind. Now you want to plant barley. First, you have to wait till the wheat becomes wormy. And then overturn it. In other words, uproot it. And then you can plant. If the wheat is already grown, you can't say I'll plant and then after the barley and then afterwards I'll overturn the wheat. You have to overturn the wheat and then plant the barley. Kami choresh. How much do you have to plow in order to uproot sufficiently the wheat? Kitame like you do make furrows at the time of the rainy season. Avashol says you don't have to eradicate all the wheat as long as you don't leave a will rova for Beisah, which of course is the shear of Kilayim, which is discussed in previous sugyas. Says the Gemara, Akama himas ras. So the Rash, the Reb Chaim, Sirilio, the Gra, all changes to Akama hi mitalas. How much is how wormy does have to become? So ad kidei shetei ba'aretz shlosha yomim v'mokamatina, to the point that it is for 3 days in the place of mud. That pace evidently where it's wet. Evidently it gets wormy quicker. Avol, however, and here the word lo should be taken out, as according to the previous Mefarshim as well. Avol, the Mokam agreed, where it's dry, so it takes longer for the worms to be able to attack the wheat. The Tana came, we learned, Mikta Sayom Kekula b'Mokam Atina. And a place where it's moist, even part of it they consider like a whole day because the process is much accelerated. V'im simcha v'hori b'em tocha. What if it grew? Where is this here? Well, I guess I have to see the red bars. Akama shtei baruch shloshi yomim b'makom hatina makom agri boya yoser. The tani we learn mixed and kekulo. In some chavari behem to the tocha v'kirtama kirtam harayz muteres. If you let your animal graze there and it broke down the wheat, then you can already plant the barley. My time the rabbanim. What's the rash of rabbanim? Became shnos and daito lachrosh. Once you had in mind to plow, I feel low ratzaf. Even if you didn't make it the plow furrows close together. Tana imachayim solios choresh dak. You don't have to make close and comprehensive plow furrows. El katame aravia, rather like the furrows at the time of the rainy season, which evidently are further apart. Shigam leomer zonav asus v'chulei. Okay, so that is. Let's go back to the Gemara. Again, being simcha v'arei the behem to the tocha kirtmasa is muteres if your animal grazed there and it's ate out the wheat. That's good enough. My time of the rabbanon. What's the rash of rabbanon? The cave shows in daito lachrosh. Since you had in mind to plow, it doesn't have to be comprehensive plowing, like Avashol says, to make the mess less so many forth. But I feel low ratzab, even if you didn't do it close together and that comprehensively, that's okay. Tani, and here again, according to Ridbaz and the others, we take our Abashol Omer, it's not Abashol. Ein mechayvin liyos choresh dak. No, to plow finally. El katam revia. as broadly spaced as you do at the rainy season. Um, uh, uh, Zon of Asus Sunny Grace. It was called a horsetail. So this, going back to the Baz, he says, oh no, he doesn't explain this. So evidently it's like a horsetail in that the furrows were kind of scattered. Um, the the Reb Chaim says that what does it mean like like the tail of a horse? That okay, they can scatter. I know it'll be ritzufim, but at the top they have to connect. So once in the field, all those photos have to connect, just like the um, the head of the horse is the head of the horse's tail. Everything is connected, and and that is, as Gemara now explains, so far shazu nogeh bezu, so far shazu nogeh bezu. End of the dirt, which is overturned in one furrow, has to reach to the next furrow. So in the middle, I guess it branches out, but at the top it has to all come together in order for that to be effective. And Reb Chaim actually has a drawing here, over here. Right, that's like the Zon of Asus, that it's connected. It's not really all connected on one side, so I'm not sure how it's horse, horse, like, how Zon of Asus like it is, but that's how Reb Chaim explains it. My time to have a show. So what's the status? What's the rationale of Abba Shol? So we have to go back to the Read Baz. Abba Shol man became Shis Libarova Dayo. Perish Abba Shol's File. Krabana became Shos and Daitel Akrosh. It was like a bunny. Once he had in mind to plow, I feel low rest. You don't have to make tight plowshares, not comprehensive, but plow furrows. Then certainly also tsufin. They don't have to be continuous. Lo minan became Shis Akrosh Akrosh Kulo. We don't say in this case that once you start plowing, you have to plow the entire thing. Like Rabbi Yossi said, by in Halach Aleph, where you have to remove, once you start removing the seeds which shouldn't be there, you have to remove all of them, not just you might. Here we don't say that once you start plowing, you have to plow of it. So it's not like Rabbi said Halach Aleph. Rabbi said Yigmar. Once you started, you have to eliminate all the foreign substances. But Abishos Rabbanan below Rabbi Yossi. Although Rabbi Yossi might hold differently here, Abishos is like Rabbanan. Tzvila holds rova dio. Once you start a rova, in other words, you eliminated a rova for a wheat, so it's less than rova in each space saw. That's enough. The Rabbi Yossi, because we're like Rabbi Yossi, tzarech lashlim is kol rova. You have to they have to get it even less than the rova. Remove all the wheat which is there comprehensively. So Rabbi Yossi yavor akol el b'achalv. That's what Sugi is to say. So again, my time to have a show, it's the inside came she's Rova Dio. Once you start eliminating the Rova, that's enough. You don't have to go further. Ma'aba show Rabbi Yossi. Does Rabbi show work out like Rabbi Yossi? No, Rabbanan was like Rabbanan. I mean, came and Daito Akrosh feel Ratzaf. Once you had in mind to plow, even if you didn't make them close together, and Abba Shomer became Shis Barova die. Once you eliminated a rova per saw, that's enough. Rabbi Yossi evidently holds, he was assuming that, like he held that way, Yavur and Halach Alf, here he did say you have to eradicate all the wheat, back, stock, and barrel before you're able to plant barley in there. And now I'll tell Halach Gimel. Zura, it was planted with grain. Now you want to put in trees. Don't say put in the trees and then overturn the grain. First you have to overturn the grain and then plant the trees. Vice versa. You was planted with trees and now you're in mind to plant it with grain. You can't say I'll plant first the grain and then I'm going to uproot the trees. You have to uproot the trees and then plant the grain. If you want, you can cut down the trees to within the tefach of the ground. So no longer it's going to be trees. And then you can plant and then complete the uprooting process afterwards. And now we have Mishnah Hay in Halacha Gimel. Haisa Sadeh Zua Kanbas Aluf. It was planted with hemp or aluf. It's also some similar substance. Lo Yezer Ba Agabeim. You can't plant on top of them, even though you can't see them growing. Shein Osim El Shoshanim. You only could make a crop once every 3 years. So so you have to the way the Pnei Moshe puts it. He says therefore you have to uproot everything because otherwise they're going to come back because they are dormant for those 3 years. Unfortunately, say differently, but it's a Pnei Moshe's pshat. Istis, grain in which there came up shoots of istis, which is a dye plant. Also, if you have a place of where you're threshing many types of grain, and many types of grain, and they got mixed together. Also fenugreek, which then got other types of grasses interspersed. Ein mechayvin also nakesh. Don't require you to hoe and take out those weeds. In nikesh okiseach, and if you started to hoe them out or to chop them down, you have to remove everything except for one min. Sounds like Rabbi Yossi, but the bottom line is that wherever stuff is growing and you have a mixture of different seeds, and that's what happened also in the threshing floor. Evidently, things started growing out of the threshing floor. So then you don't always have to remove what's growing there because obviously it's not something which you want the weed to grow there, and you're not cultivating the weed there. But once you start weeding, you have to weed out everything except for the one min which you want to grow there. And obviously, the one is going to discuss this further, but we are now at the bottom of the base, so we will call time here and wait for the Gemara to expound on matters further.